Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking, and I am Dale Barzy. And as always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe, leave us a comment, and let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. And today, I have the very great pleasure of welcoming Deitra Dennis out of Atlanta, Georgia, USA. And Deitra is, of course, a nurse. She's a board certified health and wellness coach. She's the founder, she's an entrepreneur. She's the founder of the Full Health Circle Coaching LLC. She's an approved nursing CE provider. She's been featured in the Journal of American Medical Association. She's been featured in the American Heart Association Circulation Journal. And what else time to say about Deitra? Except welcome, Deitra.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
My absolute pleasure to have this conversation. Well,
Yes.
first of all, why are you a nurse?
Why am I a nurse? Oh, wow. Well, okay. I have to go back a little bit to bring us forward, if that's okay.
Mhm.
So, when I was around 9 years old, I had a life experience that, really awakened me to wanting to do something to help my family and my community.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if this happened to you, Dale, when you were younger, like when your mom would get on the phone, that's when you kind of start acting up a little bit because you're thinking she's not paying attention. So it was that going on. But I noticed while my mom was on the phone, her facial expression, she was really sad. And I'm like, something's not right. And so once she hung up the phone, she shared that my cousin had passed away and she was in her 20s. And so that was very devastating. And
Mhm.
I like to say, like, from that point forward, I just started having awakenings, if you will, just noticing what was going on in my family. Like, someone had a heart attack, or someone had a stroke
Mhm.
with residual outcomes, or on dialysis or amputation. So I remember at the age of 9 saying, okay, I got to do something about this because this can't be normal.
Mhm.
And so it was then, I didn't know what it was, but I knew I had to do something. And so a series of events led me to become a nurse. So that's how I became a nurse.
So it was I don't even know what to call that now. I was going to say it was a calling, but it was more than
Yes,
that, actually. It
yes,
feels like
yes.
it was more than that. It was almost like a directive,
Mhm.
this is where you're going.
Yes, yes, yes. A
And
calling
so,
directing me. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, indeed. Yes. Hmm.
yeah. And so, but what challenged you
What challenged me, you mean during being a nurse? Because it's
on
been
this
32
journey?
years. It's been 32 years. Um, hmm. I'll say like when I, finally decided, okay, I'm going to be a nurse, I had my heart set on what school I was going to go to, had it all planned out. I went to a local college to take my core classes, but I said, you know what, because I know I'm going to be at this other school, I'm going to take extra classes there. I'm going to drive. I took those extra classes like, okay, when I applied to the nursing program, oh yeah, I'm a sure foot in. Didn't happen. Oh, was I devastated? Yes, I was. But I said, okay, it's not going to deter me because I know my why.
Mhm.
I am going to be a nurse.
Mhm.
Might not be at that school. And so I applied to where I was already going locally and was immediately accepted. And so they had just started a new program where it was night school for those who work full time. Well, at that
Mhm.
time, I wasn't working. I'm 18 years old.
Mhm.
I was working, but not like a full 9 to 5.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I was enrolled in the night school. So it was, yes, it hurt because I knew where I wanted to go, but I paused and pivoted. And so here we are today, 32 years later.
I look how early you had to do what nurses do. Pause and pivot.
Yes, yes, and yes. Yes,
So what kind of areas did you work?
so I started out at the bedside and I started well, let me rewind a little bit. So I live in Atlanta, but I'm originally from Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
Not sure if you've heard of that. It's
Mhm,
where
mhm.
Richard Penniman, you might know him as Little Richard. That's where he's from. So before going into, graduating, our teaching hospital had a nurse extern program. So I was able to work there while, because you had to complete your first quarter of
Mhm,
nursing school, completing the nursing 101
mhm.
before you can start the program. So I did that. And so it was an opportunity to kind of feel where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Now, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a pediatric nurse or a labor and delivery nurse. Whew. Okay. So when I went to the pediatric floor, loved it. But when there were, I think it was two children that had terminal diseases and they were in their process of transitioning, I was like, okay, our nursing supervisor at that time, her name was Bobby Brown. I was like, oh, Miss Brown, I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can you
Yep, I
take me
get it.
out of here? So then I went over to labor and delivery. And again, here I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this is the place. This is where I'm gonna, have my career long term over here. Well, when I graduated, they didn't have any positions. So I had to pause and pivot again and ended up in med surge. So I started out at the bedside doing med surge. Then I did home health. I
Mhm,
did, look, I've done quite a bit. Home health, I did ambulatory care,
mhm.
a private doctor's office. And there, let me tell you, I was the back office. Okay. It was nobody else. So I roomed the patients. I did x-rays. I did EKGs and being
Jeez.
the case manager and following up on any abnormal, all of that. I did long-term care. And it was in 2002 when I was introduced to managed care. So I started out doing utilization management, did that for probably close to 10 years. And then I had another calling to coaching. Didn't really know what coaching was, but I just
Mhm.
knew it was something else I wanted to do. So that's when I went into disease management. And where I have been since 2012 is quality management. I really love that. So yes, I am an entrepreneur, but I'm still in, working in the career as well. So that's kind of, I think I've mentioned all the places that I've been. So yes.
You did the next thing. And she says, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm still in this place. That's what we do.
Wear all the hats and do all the
We're
things.
always moving and I say we move in parallel lines all the time. There's always like five things going on.
Yes.
So you kind of have a thing about self-care.
Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you now what I usually ask people later is
Okay.
what exactly does self-care mean to you?
Well, to me, self care is a daily practice of nourishing my whole self, my spirit, my mind, and my body. And so, what it looks like to nourish my spirit or nurture my spirit is that each day, is I begin the day with prayer, gratitude, reading the scripture, really spending time in scripture. When it comes to my mind, again, that gratitude, the positive thinking, doesn't mean that challenges, don't present themselves. They do. But I pause during those times to find one, what can I be grateful for? What was the lesson in that? And, so that helps. And then surrounding myself with people who are positive. Not saying again that things don't happen, but the outlook, the mindset. And then for my body, what I do is making sure I am nourishing myself or fueling myself with healthy food options that are delicious. Because I know sometimes if we say healthy, we think it's nasty. It's delicious. I'm drinking my water, getting my sleep, reducing my stress, or things that could be a trigger, for stress.
Yeah.
Those are some things that I do, and definitely connecting with family and friends because that is a part of self-care as well,
Yeah.
surrounding yourself with those with whom you
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's as you spoke about it and talked about all the different aspects of it. And very
Mhm,
often we leave out some,
mhm,
we don't see it as a holistic thing very often. Well, I
mhm,
shouldn't say very often, but sometimes
mhm,
perhaps we don't see it as a holistic thing. And we kind of it's kind of a superficial thing. It's the nails and the hair and the what. And
mhm.
yes, that's part of it. That's a
Yeah.
good part of it because when I look in the mirror, I want to like what I see.
Yes. Yes. And you
Really,
can go to the spa. I mean, it's not
you
saying
should.
that's not a part of it, but on a daily basis, we should be because we're pouring out. You have to
Yes.
refuel. Think of a car. If you keep driving a car and it's on empty and it's just going on empty on fumes, listen,
Stop.
you're gonna mess up the car, okay? And it's gonna stop. So same thing here. You can't just
Yeah.
keep going and not refuel daily, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. 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 And the same way we eat stuff, we think we should be thinking stuff and
Yeah.
preparing our minds and all of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Challenges are gonna come, but we gotta dress for them. Dress, dress, and dress.
Yes. And dress. Look, here as well. Dress. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, having done all of this in nursing, though, you've worked in so many different areas. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think you would like to see change, if anything?
Um, I really would love to see starting in nursing school, because I don't know about you, Dale, but in nursing school, you're taught to put the patient first. I really wish in nursing school that we are taught about self-care or lifestyle medicine or the lifestyle
Yeah.
principles
Yeah.
and how to integrate that every day into our life. Because again, nursing is very demanding. And so you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself so that I always like to say to show up as the best version of myself, to serve from my heart at the highest level. That is important to me because if you're on empty, when we're on empty, you're hungry, hadn't had sleep. Listen, you might be a little short with people that you're normally not short with, or that's not even your temperament. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you are taking care of yourself, you can show up as the best version of you. And your patients, your family, everyone deserves that part of you.
Exactly. 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 Uh,
Mhm.
and I'm going to ask you to go back because you started
Okay.
not this last part when you said show up, but before
Mhm.
that you said you want to show up for yourself
Oh, yes.
as, say it again for me.
Show up as the best version of yourself
Hmm. But
and,
before that,
serve from the heart at the highest level.
Yes,
Mhm.
that one, that one,
Mhm.
that one. Because
Mhm.
as I was listening to you saying that, what came to me is that she has about five affirmations in that one sentence.
Yeah, look, put them all together. Put them all together. Yes,
But
yes.
you
So
were
that's
talking about
important.
the change you would like to see in nursing education and stuff like that. And we're
Mhm,
beginning truly to talk about self-care. You, for example, you're talking, you've got your company,
mhm,
you're talking about like self-coaching and wellness coaching and stuff like that.
mhm,
Over the last 10 to 15 years, a lot has changed in nursing,
mhm,
including that.
mhm.
What do you think you see if you look forward another 10 years?
Hmm. Well, looking forward, as we know, in every industry, artificial intelligence or AI, is
Mm-hmm.
upon us. It's
Yep,
not just coming; it's here.
we're
I would,
catching up. We're running to
yeah,
catch up.
yeah, yeah, yes. I would love to see how AI could support nurses in reducing a lot of the administrative burden
Mhm,
so that they
mhm,
can truly, truly have that connection with the patients, because that was my reason for leaving the bedside, because I had so many patients. It was sometimes
Mhm.
8, sometimes 10 patients to me. I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, I truly love caring for my patients as if that was my family in that bed. And so when I was not able to do that, I said, okay, I have to do something different. And I would love the same, to see that evolve in every aspect of nursing. I'm seeing it some in like case management where AI is being utilized to help those nurses who are, having encounters with the patients, that they can truly be present with them. And that is
Yeah.
what I would love. I would love to see that in every aspect. And I'm sure it's coming and probably in the works in places that I haven't seen, but that's what I would love to see it evolve to, so that the nurses can truly get back to nursing.
And for that to happen, that will happen, but for that to happen, also the way we're educating nurses right now is going to have to shift a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incorporate that into the curriculum. I mean, because it's here, we can't deny it. I know I had resistance initially, but
Mhm.
when I can see how it can support me in being efficient, oh yeah, I welcome
Bring it
it. But
on.
I'm telling you, I had resistance at first as well.
Yeah.
But if it started in the nursing school in the curriculum, I think it will be more
Yeah.
receptive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because then it kind of it changes your vision of what you think you are as a nurse anyway.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Listen, you're not just a person hanging bags, passing pills. You're more than that.
You're preaching to the choir. This is one of the reasons I do this.
Yes, yes, and yes.
So you say it's been 32 years.
Hmm.
And all that you have gathered in those 32 years, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a nurse or even a nurse now?
Um, for the new nurse as well as our seasoned or established nurses, I would say knowing your why, because again, nursing is demanding, but if you know your why are you a nurse? Why do you desire to be a nurse? Why have you remained being a nurse? When you know that why, it anchors you, it motivates you, and it sustains you during those demanding and challenging times. Like I said, I've had all types of experiences. I've never said I want to leave nursing, just want to change how I am doing nursing, but never leave the profession. So
Mhm,
I feel that knowing your why is what I would advise them.
mhm, mhm. See, it's the only thing that's gonna keep you hanging on sometimes.
Yes, 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 yes. Because it can get rough. I can say it can be
Mhm,
some truly challenging times. And again, it doesn't matter which aspect of nursing. And I mean, you see, I've done quite the things
mhm,
in
mhm,
nursing, but it's really my why that anchors me each and every time.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. So I have a couple more questions, and then I want to go back actually to your
Okay.
to your business. But
Yeah.
it occurs to me that you wanted to be a nurse. You started on this journey because of instances in your family. Are
Mhm.
you the only nurse in your family?
No, I actually have an aunt that's a nurse and two cousins that are nurses. Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right, all right. I was gonna ask if you're the trailblazer,
No,
right?
my aunt started it, and my cousin before me, was before me, and then
Mhm,
I have one that's after me that is
mhm.
a nurse. Hmm.
Awesome, awesome. So I want to go back a little bit to your business because your
Yeah.
business is Full Circle Health Coaching.
Yes.
So tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, full circle health coaching, I have to tell you the how it all started, why I even wanted to have a business. So it goes back to when I was bedside, and it was probably like 1998. And I had a patient, he was well over 600 pounds and had been in the hospital with us for a long time. So he had kind of become family. And I don't know if primary care nursing is still a thing, but you know,
Mhm.
if a patient is admitted, they're your patient.
They're
No matter
yours. Yeah.
if they're the revolving door, they're yours every time. And
Hmm.
so, you know, he had been there for a long time. And this was when I was working nights and he had complex wounds. So it was an hour sometimes, you know, trying to complete his wound care. And so I would ask him questions. Again, this was before what I knew coaching was. And so I would ask him the questions like, how did you get to this point, you know, in your life? Because I know you weren't always this size, again, not from a place of judgment, but just curiosity. How did he get here? Long story short, you know, he had done well, was discharged to rehab. And when he went home, he went back to his old ways and he passed away again at in his 20s. At that time, I was 28. And so that took me back to when I was
Mm-hmm.
9 years old. My cousin was in her 20s. Here he is in his 20s. I'm in my 20s. I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I really want to do something. Again, this was another declaration for me that I really want to do something to help a person make lifestyle changes and sustain those lifestyle changes. And so I went on a journey and happened upon a coaching program. Again, never knew what coaching was. I was like, this resonates. And so during that class, it was business side and, you know, all about coaching. And so we had to come up with a name. I was like, I don't know what that name should be. I don't know. I knew I wanted to focus on Black women and improving their heart health based on, you know, with my
Yeah.
cousin. And so I was like, what should the name be? So during my quiet time, the name came about. And the definition is, you know, a series of events or development that take you back to an original source, position, or situation. And I was like, I really want people to be back at the original source of we were created to be in health even as our soul prospers. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
name full circle. So I started out the business was focusing, like I said, on improving the heart health of Black women. And then a series of events. I was like, okay, well, I need to make sure that I'm living what I'm talking about. At that time, I was at my highest weight of 235. Listen, all the things, stress, all the things. Okay. And then I went on a journey. I hired my a coach for me. And it was through that I started making changes in my life, small, but you know, consistent. I changed the way I was eating. So December 5th this year, I will celebrate 9 years of being totally plant-based. And then yay. And then I started working out consistently. And then, you know, all of the other things, getting the sleep, drinking the water, all of that happened. And I started seeing, you know, how it was making me feel better. And again, showing up as a better version of me, even with all the things that were on my plate, because I had a lot that I was doing. But knowing how to create harmony, you know, learning to say no, without guilt, because that's a major one for us because we're nurturers and we want to just do every single thing. But listen, you have to learn to say no so that you can have that strong yes for something and have the energy for what you say yes to. So
Yeah.
fast forward to 2022, actually. I don't know how I missed this, but I started, you know, really seeing a lot from American Nurses Association that nurses are less healthy than the average American. I'm like, wait a minute, no. And and then it was because of the high levels of stress, you know, not getting the sleep, and that over 50% are either overweight or obese. And then from my coaching clients, I was hearing them saying a lot, you know, my doctor or the nurse is telling me to make you know, make healthy changes, but then they're not doing it. They don't live it. So why should I? I was like, oh, we have to practice what we preach. And so that's when I pivoted to really focusing and specifically on Black women nurses, because not to say that anyone else doesn't experience things, but oftentimes we experience microaggressions, all of the isms, and we it's a lot to take on. You already, as we've said, nursing is demanded, but you have those other things layered
I
with
know.
it. It's a lot that we
Yeah.
carry. Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of live in a constant fight or flight.
Yes, yes, yes. And I've experienced it. So I was like, okay, I must pivot and help my sisters. And not that they have to copy what I did, but really just enlightening them and awakening. Hey, we don't have to keep doing what is not serving us.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a calling, and the calling is usually beyond the bedside or whatever you're doing in your career. Because I know for me, oh, I forgot one thing. Am a parish nurse,
Mm.
and working in my church. I mean, I was there full time, and a part of the ministry. So like when my pastor wasn't able to go to the hospital, it was me following up with the patients when they were discharged from the hospitals. They had questions, I'm supporting them
Yeah.
with their doctor's appointments, things like that. So again, it's a calling beyond the bedside. And so it just, we carry a lot, and I really want to be that support for my sister nurses.
Awesome. 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 So before
Yeah.
we go, I have one more question, and it's based on that.
Mhm.
If there is one thing you would like somebody to take away from this or to do, is what would it be?
I would want them to have compassion, which we normally do for our patients, but I would love for them to have self-compassion. Just the care that you give for everyone else, give that to yourself.
Yeah.
And if I could, Dale, I would love to invite the watchers or listeners to this program, an opportunity. I created what's called from Superwoman to Self-Care Masterclass. And it's really for the nurse who wants to move from the overwhelm and move to alignment, because you're pouring out, as I said before, pouring out to everyone else. But it's an opportunity to pause and pour into you, because you are your most valuable patient. And so that is something I would want to leave with them: passion, compassion, not just for others, but for yourself.
What else?
And the masterclass is the introduction to that.
So you can tell them how to get to that masterclass. I will also put it in the description box. But as people are listening, they let them know how to get there.
Yeah, so my website is Full Circle Health Coaching LLC.com. That's where all the information is there. And I do have a YouTube channel, so a sister channel to yours. Uh,
Ah,
I have a weekly series. It's called The Break Room. So it's our self-care safe space for nurses. And so again, it's an opportunity to pour into our nurses on how we can really, take back the power. And you can
yeah.
do that with
Yeah.
self-care. So that's weekly, every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And on that note, Deitra, thank you so, so much for this conversation. It has been fun. It has been enlightening. I've loved it. We've got to do something again.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dale.
My absolute pleasure. My pleasure.